Today, what a difference a day makes. Hello again, it's Martin North from Digital Finance Analytics. Welcome to the latest post covering finance and problem news with a distinctively Australian flavour. So after the results at the weekend from the election, the stock market bounced strongly today. The S&P ASX 100 was up 1.9% to 5,346 and is now touching territory not seen for quite some time. It's 4.97% higher than this time last year. Within that, it was the financial sector that really leapt forward. The ASX 200 financials rose 5.85% today to 6,164, but is still more than 5% down from a year ago. The main banks were where a lot of the action was, with the ANZ up 7.39% to 27.76, but still 2.59% lower than this time last year. CBA was up 6.27% to 77.40 and is up 8.94% from a year ago. National Australia Bank was up 7.8% to 25.78 and is down 7.13% from 12 months ago. And Westpac was up 8.95% to 27.68, still down 5.98% from a year ago. And even AMP, one of the dogs perhaps, rose 2.73% to 226, but still remains more than 42% lower than this time last year. Amongst the regionals, Bendigo and Adelaide Bank were up 2.74% to 10.89 and is down 1.53% from a year ago. And the Bank of Queensland was up 3.75% to 9.12, down 13.41% from this time last year. Now, I think that we can call this a relief rally, on the basis that the finance sector under the coalition will find the going a little easier with regard to regulation. Of course, negative gearing and capital gains changes won't now come in, and there will probably be further incentives to try and get the housing market into recovery mode, although whether that will be successful is another question. Now, I think this is a bit of an overreaction. Remember that property prices in Sydney and Melbourne have now dropped over the last year by more than 10%, and the lending standards are still pretty tight. So while there is pressure on to try and get the regulators to ease some of the parameters around responsible lending, what we're really saying is if you do that, we're going to go back to the heady days when in fact lending was too loose and the responsible lending rules were not being followed. So I think there's only a limited amount that can be done to ease the property sector. And I know that there were lots of articles today saying, right, this is going to be the turnaround point, but we've heard that before, so I don't necessarily buy into that argument. Hi, excuse the interruption, but if you are getting value from this post, please consider subscribing to DFA if you haven't already done so, or ring that bell for custom alerts. Plus, please consider supporting our efforts. You can make a one-off donation via PayPal, here's the link, or subscribe via Patreon for as little as $3 US a month or more to get access to exclusive additional content. The links are in the comments below. And thanks for supporting what we do, it's really appreciated and makes it possible for us to continue to make more great content. Mortgage aggregator Mortgage Choice rose a massive 14.47% today to 91 cents, but is still down 53% from a year ago. Of course, this is in reaction to the fact that under the coalition, the regulatory framework around mortgage brokers will be a little less rigorous. And because the review of trail commissions is now put out for at least 3 years, it's very much business as usual. So I regard today's movements as extreme, and it's likely that the market will come back over the next few days to a more normal and considered level. It's also worth just underscoring that even after these rallies, some of the major banks have actually gone backwards compared with this time last year, which tells you something about the market's broader view of the industry. But whilst the stock market performed pretty well today, the Aussie dollar was below 70 cents, sitting at 69.26, and rose 0.84% on the day, but is still nearly 8% lower than this time last year. And we still believe that the dollar will slide lower in the months ahead. Now, tomorrow at 8 p.m. Sydney time, I'm going to run my live stream event, and I'm going to update my scenarios to take account of the results of the election and all the latest data. So you can join me then to see how this pans out in terms of property price movements. Here's a link to the show. You can bookmark it. And if you want to send a question ahead of time, you can either use the DFA blog, the link is below, or leave a message here on the YouTube channel and I'll read them prior to the show tomorrow. Or of course you can ask the question live, and I hope that you'll join me for the show. I'm Martin North from Digital Finance Analytics. Many thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.